Numerous shows and concerts are taking place on the stage of the Nakhul tent, where the festival is being held this year in conjunction with the celebration of the Bahrain Culture and Antiquities Authority as the Muharraq Capital of Islamic Culture 2018. The summer festival this year presents a family-friendly section which showcases a distinctive example of cultural communication and cultural exchange. The activities on the stage are not only for children but also for all family members.
So basically we do first aid for charity, teach people how to do first aid for family and even committees.
This year is different than the other years because we are focusing on the traditional theme and concept as Muharraq have chosen as the capital of Islamic culture in Bahrain.
Well, it's very good. Actually, the first week when we came, it was started to know us. So this, when we came the second week, which is today, we see huge people are coming, and actually they are interacting with us.
We did like different performances and activities on the stage with focusing on the traditional games and competition. Plus we have invited different bands from Bahrain like Mohammed bin Faris and other bands. Plus we have collaborated with some other embassies in Bahrain to combine our culture with the other cultures. Our visitors increasing every day than the other day. We have different workshops, different activities on the stage.
Actually, 3 years back, we started an idea to teach people how to do first aid. There were a lot of teams. They were charging money to certify people, but we thought, why not to teach people how to do first aid? Especially first aid is very important at home. There are so many women, they don't know how to do first aid when something happened at home, a bad injuries or burn, and these things can affect people. And as we know from AHA and American Heart Association and Medic First Aid, they are the schools of first aid. They taught us each minute in first aid is very important for people to do first aid as an action.
Follow us on our social media account, Nakhul_city_BH.
There are many competitions, games and musical traditional performances in addition to the semi speeches delivered by paramedics, which emphasize on the importance of the first aid and the right instruction of using it. Blushi is a health advocate, life coach and trainer. After being diagnosed with MS, he became a vlogger to spread awareness about his chronic illness. He is currently a trainer who empowers patients with the skills they need to live normally with their diseases and shares his positive stories through his public speeches and seminars.
It's actually started in 2009. I've been diagnosed in 2009 and I'm in my 10th year right now. And since then, when I got my MS, it was like more, I would like to do more about myself than what I was at. It's like I changed my job back in 2009, going to something I would love, because being at a job that you don't like, being so stressful at that job, it's a disease that came to you without going anywhere. So it's like I was at home and I got diagnosed. I wasn't like an adventure lover. Like I never broke a leg, I never broke a hand. So it was for me that disease that came to me. So what worse can happen? So let me change my job, get to the media business, get to the PR business. So I left my job and I started as a media consultant. Then I started to be a trainer, more into public speaking, things that I would love to do since I was a kid. MS made me do them at that time. So it's actually changed me to who I am today, and I'm really happy for having MS.
Imagine this man might fall down to the ground or in front of people or cars or anywhere and no one would know about him. No one would know? MS patient wouldn't normally be able to walk for a long time and needs a wheelchair. Moreover, he cannot control his muscles. He might be dropping things. MS patient might face temporary blindness. He might need someone to help him out to walk. Because he looks normal and no one would figure out his illness due to his appearance. He tries to depend on himself, since some people do not understand how MS patients suffer from this disease. Please excuse him for being a queue jumper.
So actually I started with my vlogging first. Used to do video awareness videos about multiple sclerosis and about other stuff that relates to the health sector. Like when the community goes through, let's say, a health problem or a health awareness when it comes to a certain disease and people need to know it in a simple way. We're trying to reflect that to the community. That's how I started my vlogging part. Being a trainer is actually, I run a company with few friends. It's called We Care, and we provide that kind of training to the patient who needs it. It's like our vision is to empower patients with the skills they need to live life. So we give them those skills to overcome the fears of the disease. And we're not talking just about multiple sclerosis, we're talking about even cancer patients. And we're being supported by lots of companies and lots of pharmaceuticals who would like to support patients beyond the pharma industry itself. one of the obstacles that people get through when it comes to the disease, it's like something I really feel right now. It's like how people look at you walking healthy, look healthy, and you look like the other normal people, but then you have that disease inside you that eating you without anyone knowing. Like, how can you describe that you are in pain at the same time it's not visible? So how can you show people that you have a balance issue when you're not holding a cane? It's like, it's really, you see those looks. We're not looking for the pity looks. I'm not looking for anyone's pity. I just want people to understand, once we have that disease, and I'm not talking just about me, I'm talking about those hundreds of people, thousands of people who are at the GCC right now, millions all over the world. Just, it's that suffer, or that part that people look at you, that judgy look. When you're walking normally, then you're going over a wheelchair because you're too tired to walk, then you get off the wheelchair to go and walk normally, or using a cane today, not using a cane tomorrow, or being parked in a disability parking, and people start seeing, why would he use the disability parking when he's walking perfectly? They don't know that 15 minutes from now, I wouldn't have, let's say, the power or the strength to walk straight. Then I have to get inside the office and sit there. So that the people look, or people perspective when it comes to such a disease, so that's the worst thing that you need to work on. That's why we're doing our awareness videos. But again, that we're talking about people who are diabetic in the world. Like, we have half of Bahrain are diabetic, and then people are still eating rice and sugar, although they know this actually can affect their health. So awareness would be like starting with your own family, or starting with those around you, and then start to go to the upper circle, bigger circle, and bigger circle, until you reach the whole community. See, being a speaker, it's like, I love public speaking since I was a kid. So back in 2003, when I started my training as a public speaker, people start telling me, you're so not giving the, let's say, the, what do you call it? You're not going with the standards that public speakers do. You're talking to people normally like you're talking to anyone else in front of you. And I said, public speaking is about delivering the message that you want to deliver to people in your own way, communicating with these. What do we use as public speakers? Like, you use body language. You need to read those below the stage to know how to change the subject once they don't like it. And then you have to use your body language in a proper way that, no, you don't intimidate anyone below the stage. And you need to use the right tone to get to those people, because some people will love it low, some people will love it high, and you need to be yourself. This is what public speaking for me, delivering a message the way I see it, more comfortable to people, or let's say the way that people will see it more easily digested. So I love public speaking, and I got lots of feedback because of that. I go on stage and it's like, for me, it's home. You know, it feels good. It feels good to be on stage. Behavior. So changing people is not going to be that easy, because you're dealing with different type of people. So some people would like to change, some people refuse to change. It's just, who are you to change people? Like, you're gonna add that kind of information that it might be useful for them, and they have the choice to change. They have the right to change, or the power to change, but sometimes they don't want to. Back then, lots of things happened in Abu Dhabi when it comes to Salama bint Hamdan Al Nahyan Foundation. I got an email, and you know those spam emails that you don't believe. And I got that email, and then it was an invite to talk in Muntada. Muntada is that event that they hold, and I've been watching that event like for so many years. And it's like, I so wanted to be part of that. So when I got the call, I got actually the email, then I got the call from Abu Dhabi. I didn't believe it, and I thought someone was actually doing a prank. So I gave them a call, provide them with the information. And it was actually amazing how they're taking care of that condition. It's like MS, on MS World Day. And then they project it to people in a different way. It's like I was there, and there was the president of the MS Society back then, Mr. Saeed Al-Habsi, and there was Dr. Andrew Wu from Los Angeles. He's a neurologist. So I was a bit honored to be with those people on that stage. It was such a challenge to be there. People interacted, and I was so happy about the interaction that happened. And then when we were preparing that speech, we spent like 4 hours to 6 hours to prepare that speech that lasted for 18 minutes. Because my aim is to get to TED Talks one day. It's like, that's my aim into being a speaker. So when I went there, and it's like 4 hours of preparation, 6 hours and stuff. In the middle of my speech, I had to change the subject because it wasn't going well with the attendees. Some people got more affected in a negative way because of some information that I brought up. So I had that split of a second to change it, because what I use in my PowerPoint presentations, I don't use information, I just use a title. So I can change the title once I see that it's not very useful, or let's say that some people interacted in a good way or a bad way. So I had to change it. The interaction was good. It was a choice that I made, and people were happy about it. We got off stage and they cheered me up, and I was happy, and I'm still happy about last year.
شخصت بالمرض في 2009. طبعا في 2009 في ذاك الوقت كان الوضع شوي مو بوايد سهل. يعني يوم عطونا المرض وقالوا لنا شنو فيك بالضبط، قال لك تصلب متعدد، اعطاك اياها في ورقه. في ناس وايد كانت عندهم مشكله في الموضوع. يعني الواحد اللي بيروح يدور، انا والله صادني تصلب متعدد، انا واحد مصاب ولا انا مريض ولا انا شنو بالضبط، فبيروح بيدور. فياتني الشغله اللي نشوف ربعنا العرب، ربعنا الخليجيين. لحظه ندش على انستغرام ولا ندش على تويتر ونشيك الهاشتاج. تعرفون كلمه الواحد قال الحمد لله ويحط لكم باك جراوند اسود؟ شلون الحمد لله مالته طالعه؟ فصايره كانه مو يحمد الله، كانه يندب حظه انه هو صار فيه.
When it comes to speakers and trainers, there are quality of people when it comes to that. Like, everyone is talking about positivity.
Exactly.
All right, and it's like, when people tell me you're a positive person, I hate it. Because of how much that word means nothing these days, with all due respect to the word. Like, people are being, like, they ask people to be positive, to wake up every morning with a smile and with the sound of the birds at the background and unicorns and rainbows, and to live their life to the maximum and smile. And life is not about that. For me, I always say that positivity is not a way of living, it's a result. So a doctor, to be a doctor, he didn't wake up one morning with a smile on his face to be a doctor. He went through a whole process of studying, and he cried for so many nights that were sleepless to become that doctor. We can see them how stressful they are once they study. Going back to who do we believe when it comes to training? For me, we provide training, like we provide skills that we believe the patient needs. And we do it after reading books and research to get to that. In my last training in Dubai, we actually had Dr. Ahmed Shatila. He's a doctor, neurologist in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, who came to us in Dubai. And he attended the workshop, the whole workshop. He's a neurologist who has MS at the same time. And I was seeking his approval after every section or every topic I talk about. And he was happy about that. So lots of speakers right now, or let's say lots of speakers right now who talk on stage lack the art of speaking or how to approach people. It's not about reading from a presentation. I can't call myself a speaker when I'm not delivering something. I can be a speaker, but will I deliver that kind of information to the public? Don't look at where do you get the certificate from. Look at what the value of information that you're going to get out of that trainer. I'm not saying all the trainers are wrong. I'm saying that there are lots of trainers right now who are going to teach you about things that you already know or you don't even need to use. Using the word positivity in each and every corner of your life, it's not going to be a solution. You need to be realistic, face your facts, deal with your problems in a certain way, then you're going to get through. Having a disease or having MS is not the end of the world. You need to know how to live with it, not to ignore it, acknowledge it, accept it, and you're gonna overcome it. We're talking about MS, we're talking about cancer, we're talking about everything. So once you need to deal with a problem, you need to acknowledge that you have the problem, embrace the problem, and then you're gonna dismantle it and live with it. That's what we have about it.